Okay, so you're writing, you've got a couple of minutes, the kettle's boiling, the train's, yeah, I think you can think of examples, but you have your iPhone with you. You could, of course, read a book on it, and that'd be great, wouldn't it? Or you could write on it, which would be better. But we're not going to do that, are we? Neither of us. Instead, you and I are probably going to doom scroll through news sites. So let's at least make that quick, maybe make it fun, maybe make it useful. Hello, I'm William Gallagher, and this is 58 Keys, which, as always, is for writers like you and me, who use and who write on Macs and iPhones and iPads. And since we're writers on these devices, of course, we also read on them as well, don't we? Do subscribe, please, because, well, subscribe, like, or patronize, because love patronize. We have so much to talk about. And although, actually, I think in this time in particular, there's a decent chance you may well know everything I want to show you. And also, if you do, then you may even weller have other recommendations. I'll tell you mine, you tell me yours, and together we'll put off writing for a minute. Not what we're supposed to, yeah, we'll do. First up, this is about RSS newsreader apps, and just knowing that those are around is enough, I think. But then, to be a bit more useful, I have 3 recommendations and 1 suggestion. RSS first. Did I say this to you already? RSS is one of those technology terms where, knowing what every word means doesn't help. RSS stands for really simple syndication. There you go, you see? Clear. All of the best websites, I'm pretty sure all podcasts, and I think all YouTube channels, yeah, they obviously present their news or their videos or articles, whatever it is, on their own sites, but then they also publish to an RSS feed, it's a simple text list that just has links to each new item as it's posted, maybe a little bit more detail. An RSS reader app goes and gets those lists, really gets those RSS feeds, and then shows them to you. So without you going to any site at all, this one app will show you if there's anything new on those 5 sites, those 10 sites, however many you like. All of the apps give you the new headline. They will give you a bit of the lead, or sometimes called the stand first, and some do more, but many of them, no, actually all of them, then let you go straight through to the original site. So that original site gets your clicks and the ad revenue from looking at ads on their pages, but you are still in your RSS app, so it's really fast to then switch to the next thing you want to read, even if it's in a different site, a different place. The difference between the apps is in what you see, how much of an article, for example, before you choose to go through. Also, whether it is articles, or whether there's also videos and social media maybe. And also just overall how easy or not they are to use. They're all the same, they're all pretty easy. Here are 3 that I recommend you look at, and this is key. There's no reason for you to just pick one. Out of the 3, Reader Classic, the quite new Tapestry, and the very new Current. If you do just want a quick recommendation, yeah, go for Reader Classic. Okay, I mean, stick around for the other 2 because they're really nice extras. But Reader Classic seems to me to be the workhorse version, in that I can use it for work, and I so want to say also for horsing around. One important thing to note about Reader Classic, if you want to go looking for it, I have to keep saying classic because a couple of years ago, now something like that, the developer came out with a brand new version, totally different, that was just called Reader. And what he did, he rebranded the old Reader as Classic. I did try the new one for a few months. I didn't stick with it for whatever reason. But for now, let me show you kind of all of these, how they work, so you can have an idea of what to look for and what might work best for you. This is Reader Classic. Oh, I should also say Reader spelt REEDER. And it's what I see when I open it up at least a few times a day. It's on my front screen on my iPhone. I use it that much. And I've been using it that much for such a long time. So I have a lot of these RSS feeds, these lists in it. Reader Classic helps me there. It lets me divide them up into folders. So, for example, since I often write about Apple, well, there's a whole folder full of news sources about that. And I realise now, talking to you, it doesn't include the one I write for, because, well, I already know I should probably add that. Forget work. Let me pick something I just read totally for pleasure. That design folder. You can open the folder. Right, oh, this might not be a brilliant example because there's only one thing in there. Except no, I'm sure there's more. Yeah, actually, if I just do this, right, well, now I have a whole 2 RSS sources in my design folder. And the reason you could only see one is that only one of them has anything in it that I haven't read. So anyway, let's go into this one, Swiss Miss, and there are all of the latest headlines from that site, plus a few words from the start of each piece, plus you see some have images, some don't. Sometimes with articles, you'll see a lot more than a few words. Sometimes you'll even see the whole text. But with every one, in every case, in every app, you tap on the headline and you go through to the article, in this case, the video on the original site. It is always the headline that you tap on. And actually, maybe this isn't a bad example at all, because what it's showing you there, it looks like it's a tappable YouTube link, but it isn't. The way RSS works, the way the app works, the way the site works, I don't know, something like that. You tap on the headline, you read it, you watch it, and then you come back out of the headline to read a classic. And this Swiss Miss design feed marks that one you've just read as read. And then you go anywhere else you like. You tap on a folder name to see all of the articles in all of the feeds within that folder, or like we just did, you go to another specific RSS feed you've added, which kind of brings you to the point, really, isn't it? That, I mean, if you don't already do this even more than I do, is how do you add these things? How do you say that you want to read Swiss Miss? The more I say that, Swiss Miss. Okay, adding, there are 2 parts to this. One is setting it all up for the very first time, and then there is adding the specific websites. This part applies to every RSS app, but to use Reader Classic, since we've got it here in front of us as a specific example, first you launch the app, look at the quality of information you get here, and then you look for settings. Okay, that should be more useful. The first time you do this, first time ever out of the box, it should show you settings, but I'm so many years into this, I can't go back that far to see what you see when. But when you see settings, or whether they're shown to you, whether you find them, look for something like add account. You may have to scroll down again. I have a lot, yeah. Tap on that, and I would suggest now that if you have something like this at the top where it says feeds iCloud, tap on that. There are all these other options, and they're good. I mean, I use one of them. Actually, I use the one in there called Feedly, but it's just not as needed, not as important as it was when I started out. To explain quickly, a service like Feedly, and there are many, makes it handy to have a different newsreader app on, say, a Mac and your PC. They will stay in step. So you read an article on your PC, perhaps about your latest Windows frustration of many, and then it's simultaneously marked as read over on your iPhone, because why do you need it on the iPhone? You find it. I tell you what, if you want to know more about these other services, and a quick YouTube search doesn't tell you better than I can, please feel free to ask me in the comments, but leave me enough time to go research the answer properly so that I can look clever. If I were starting today, I'd ignore all of that and I would just use iCloud. What that will do is keep your read and your unread articles synced across the iPhone, the iPad and the Mac if you get the RSS app for all of those. What more do you want? Much more interesting, I think, and certainly what you'll do a lot more often than that one-time initial setup is this thing of adding a specific website to your RSS app. To start with, you find the site. Go find Swiss Miss on a web browser, copy the address, and then in any RSS app, you'll find the Add Feed button, although here it's just a plus at the top. Paste in the site address, tap on search, and then you'll get a page that'll be a bit like this. One reason I'm seeing more than you might is because I've already got Swiss Miss added, but you will always see at least things like the 2 at the top, the Atom feed and the other one. Hand on heart, I used to know the difference, and there is one, but I haven't had to think about it, I haven't had to remember it in a decade more. Tell you what, be consistent, tap whichever one does not say Atom, and then this bit is specific to Reader Classic. You can tap the Add to Folder button if you want to. I suggest you don't bother. Don't bother until you have a lot. I have something around 200, 250 sites in mine, and it said, just go straight to tapping subscribe. You can move things into folders later. The very first time you add this, actually on Reader Classic or any RSS app, nothing seems to happen. It's going to take at least a few moments before you see a single thing. what's happening is that the RSS Reader app is popping off to fetch that list and bring it back to you. And that could be it, really. It's worth knowing that RSS readers typically include a button to mark something as unread so that you can read it but then find it again later. Reader Classic, that includes a lot of features such as bionic reading, a bionic reading feature that is meant to help you read faster, and I don't understand it, but it does work. And also in all of them you can adjust how things look, the font size, everything really. So that's Reader Classic, and actually, like I keep saying, it is pretty much all RSS readers. So we could say we're done. You could go back to your writing now, but that means I'd have to go back. I'll tell you what, I'll tantalize you if I can. I'll try tantalizing you into putting that off for just a little bit longer. There are 11 billion RSS apps. Number 6 will blow your mind. Yeah, okay. More usefully, Reader Classic is a one-time purchase of £5 or $5. Decades of usage, years. There's also the newer Reader, which is interesting. It's a subscription app that costs $10 a year. It is worth having a look. I actually only want to tell you properly about 2 more of these apps, so maybe number 6 will blow our minds. But anyway, set this up. Reader, as opposed to Reader Classic, this new version, what it tried to do was take the whole idea of articles and lists and kind of modernize it. I didn't take to it myself, but maybe I should try again, because there are these 2 newer RSS apps that also try to find new and modern ways to show you the news you want, and actually I really like them. Starting with Tapestry, which aims to do, well, everything you just saw in Reader Classic, fine, but do it with social media as well as news articles. I like Tapestry. I like it a lot, and it is handy, the idea of having everything you read from news to social media presented to you in one app, in one list. It's presented in chronological order too, rather than divided into sites and things, so the lines between social media and news are blurred, and I'm suddenly not sure if that's a good. Anyway, Tapestry is very strong, I think, for just giving you a good time reading. You know, I don't think it's as good for work, for drilling down to specific folders or individual feeds, but you know, for relaxing by the kettle, great. Except it does not, and it cannot do all social media platforms. It can do Blue Sky, Mastodon, Tumblr, is that still around? Reddit, and micro.blog, whatever that is. It won't do Facebook. I haven't heard of it. It won't do Facebook or Twitter because those platforms just won't let it. And that is big, because that stops this being the one app to use for everything. The one app that means not having to separately scroll through different social media ones. We could just walk away from those social media ones. Also, this is just me. I needed to piddle about in the settings in Tapestry to get it to what seemed right for me. So, for example, by default, Tapestry shows you quite a long preview at the start of an article, which is great if you're interested. It's a bit, scroll if you're not. I set it to short, and that tells me enough that I can see whether I'm interested to tap through to read more. If you pay for Tapestry, you get the ability to create what it calls different timelines. So I could have one for work. This is still in my head. One for horsing around. You could have one devoted to your yacht club. I don't think I'm going to bother with that, but I do like reading on Tapestry, so I'm going to keep on using it in the free version. If you do want the paid pro version, then in both dollars and pounds, it costs $2 a month or $20 a year. Or if you pay £80 or dollars, it's yours for life, yours forever. I'd strongly recommend you follow the link in the description of this video to take a look at Tapestry. Not because, I don't know, do I get some kickback or something for it, but because it's remarkable how many apps are called Tapestry. And this bit was good. I even ended up having an excellent time listening to Carole King's album. So I don't want to put you off random searching. Anyway, I found the right Tapestry, so you don't have to. RSS readers, and actually, bit of an aside, I should say, I think the first one was called NetNewsWire, and I was an obsessive user of that on the Mac back in the early 2000s, and it's now on the iPhone and the iPad, but somehow I don't know why, I've just never quite got back into it. What was I saying? Thank you. RSS readers, right. What they used to all do was all show you every unread article, kind of as if it was an unread email. So you'd have that badge, the red badge with the ever-growing number of unread articles throbbing away. Actually, you didn't see that on my copy of Reader Classic because that app gives you an option. You can turn it off. So I did. But it is still the case that with 200, whatever it is, news feeds in there, in my one, I do fall behind, of course. I am on top of anything I need for work, but you know, the fun stuff, the pleasure stuff, that mounts up, and it does start to feel overwhelming after a while. But the last app I want to show you is also the newest. It's actually the reason I want to talk to you about this at all today. Specifically aims to solve that. It's called Current, and the name is so well chosen. I mean, I'm a sucker for a good title, a great name. Current, it is about staying up to date, yes, but it's also a description really of what the developer calls the river of news and articles. It keeps on flowing, but you and I do not have to stay afloat on top of reading all of it. We can just let it go on its merry way. Unlike any other RSS app I think I've even heard of, Current does not keep all of these articles. If you don't read something in a few days, gone. Which means, well, there's always something to read there, that's good. But there's also never so much that you give up, or you feel a bit guilty, or you just stop enjoying it, really. That doesn't happen with Current. Otherwise, Current works the same in the way of what it can show you, except that where Reader Classic has folders and the subscription version of Tapestry has the timeline idea of things for dividing things up, Current has the river and it has voices. You can elect to mark certain news feeds as voices, the idea being that rather than news sites per se, these are people you want to read, you want to follow. It's just a folder. Actually, it's even folders plural, because by default, right, if you tap on the voices button, well, you'll see all of them, all articles from all of them. You do also get these icons at the top. Tap on any one of those, and what you see just what's been written or filmed by that person. I'm not really sure about this, actually, because as it happens, I don't know how it's set. The voices I've picked, several of them have these different Google icons, so how do you know which is which without tapping on them? And I don't know why that one Google icon is grey. It's not that it's unavailable, that you can't go in. It's not that there's nothing in there. Current is another app where I would suggest, just for speed, actually follow the link in the description of this video, because again, it must be a good title. There are a lot with that name. No albums, I found them. This one, the RSS Current, it costs $10 and it's a one-off payment. I've bought Current and I'll keep using it. I'm staying on the free version of Tapestry for now, and I like it a lot, but we'll see if it pulls me back, if it pulls me from Current or from Reader Classic, which is the bigger move for me. But there's one last thing. I said there was a suggestion. Each of these apps, right, is about reading now, about whether that's you're following the news, keeping up with up-to-date stuff, or doing some research. What's the latest on a certain topic? Well, they get the newest articles, you read them, they're gone. All of them do have ways of saying, yeah, no, keep this one around, mark it unread, save it, that kind of thing. But I would suggest that you also look at a read it later app, such as Instapaper. Now, there are free and paid versions, and I've been on the free one for so many years, I don't even know, well, not what the paid one costs or what you get. What happens is I'm reading an article in Reader Classic or wherever. I see that that's something useful for research. Or maybe it's just a good read, something really interesting. And I don't have time right now. So send it over to Instapaper. Read it later. For a while there, this was making Instapaper and these RSS apps together, made Instapaper like a Sunday magazine section filled with these long articles that I'm so interested in. And I really just so enjoy sitting there, maybe out in the garden, the sunshine with a mug of tea, having a good read. Well, since I did blow it actually recently. We just got an air fryer and I've been adding a ton of recipes to Instapaper for want of anywhere else to put them. And it now means, well, stick with the Sunday magazine example. My Sunday magazine section feels like it's full of ads for food suddenly. I mean, that's all me. It's on me. I'll clear them out. And I'll keep reading Instapaper, and I will forever read RSS apps every single day. Listen, that's it for this edition of 58 Keys. Thank you very much for watching. Now take care of yourself. Read more, but also write more. Okay, that's key. and I'll see you soon.